Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, I'm Vanessa and I like to bring you videos on baby and kids things. So baby products, reviews on strollers, different things that I have tried and tested. And today I have something for you that I have personally used and I'm really excited to share it with you because it totally answered a need that me and my family recently had. We were traveling, which is something we do often. So if you have been following me around, you know I am like a huge advocate of trying to travel with your kids, as much as you can. I know how daunting that can be, and I think in a lot of my videos I talk about how people find that really intimidating. How do you travel with kids? How much stuff do you have to pack? So over the years, I've been really fortunate because I work in this industry. I've had the luxury of trying out so many different amazing products and, finding the ones that worked and then repeatedly using them on trips for the best experience. So I try to bring you those because I want you also to have the best travel experience with your kids. So today is one of those videos. I recently traveled with my family on a weekend trip to Chicago. And this trip was very different than most of the trips we take. Most of our trips are, whether we're going on a beach vacation and we'll go away for like a few days or a week and we are basically in a hotel for the entire week. We're not really moving around. We don't take a car and we don't rent a car. So, we're not really, it's not very stressful to try to figure out how to get from the airport to the hotel. Like we have a way that we do things. The other trips that we take are often where we're renting a car for an entire week. And in those situations, I personally bring my large car seats from home and I sometimes bring them on the airplane or I gate check them depending on the situation. But I like to have my big, sturdy, tried and tested, the seats that I feel comfortable with me on those trips. This trip was kind of different because we flew from home to Chicago. When we got there, we got off the airplane and we took an Uber to our hotel. And then for the rest of the weekend, we were getting around the city on foot with our stroller. And then when we needed to for longer trips or just when we were too tired to keep going, we were using Ubers, taxis, Lyfts, whatever kind of public car transportation was available to us. So in those situations, I know, you've probably been to cities before, maybe you live in a city, and you've seen that people will often put their child on their lap or no car seat, and the idea is like, oh, whatever, it's a short ride, it's no big deal. But it kind of is a big deal, right? Because it could be 1 second in the car, 5 seconds when something can happen. So it's important to me that my children are always properly restrained in the car in a safe, and properly fitting car seat for them. So if you have traveled before to New York and you've ever used Uber Family, this is, the seat behind me, the car seat that Uber Family uses. And I'm really excited because it seems like they are rolling out Uber Family in other cities and they're going to be using the same car seat. And it's not a car seat that like only Uber has, it's a car seat that's available to you to purchase. So this is the seat I got. I feel like Vanna White here, like I'm like showing you the seat. This is the seat that I got for my family. My daughter is 2 years old. And so to use this seat, you have to be between 31 and 52 inches and 22 and 55 pounds. And you have to be old enough to sit forward facing. And that can be, it depends on the state, whether it's 1 year or 2 years. Obviously at home, my daughter's 2.5 and she still sits rear facing. But for this trip, I figured it was okay since she's 2.5 for her to sit forward facing. But you really, you research more into that on your own and what you feel comfortable with. So it is called the Immi Go car seat, and literally like go, it helps you go to places that might not have been as convenient before. It is a 5-point harness, so you can see, and it is super light. When I take it out and show you, it's only, you can't feel it obviously, but I am telling you, it is only 10 pounds and it is super light, which makes it really easy to transport. And it is compact. It's going to fold forward, which you'll see. To install it, you only put in the latches. So see right over here is your latch, just probably like you do with your car seat at home. So you latch it in on either side and you tighten it with the same way you do at home. So this isn't an installation video. So if you already have this car seat and you're like, Vanessa, like how do I install it? I want you to teach me. This is not the video for that because this is not being installed where I'm showing you like every detail about it. I'm just kind of showing you how quick and easy it is. But so you do tighten it. And also then you have to use the top tether. This little bad boy right here goes through the back and attaches down into your tether. So it has to be in a seat in a position where you have tethers available to you. If you don't have a tether, you can't use this seat. So there's no rigging it. You can't like put tape on it or like staple it. No, without a tether, you can't use the seat. But most vehicles do have tethers and most positions do. You just might have to find them. So now you have it, you put it in, it takes, no joke, like maybe like 1 minute, 1.5 minutes maximum to install this car seat. And your child can sit in, you would put 5-point harness and you strap them in, really easy to work with. It is $250, which is, you know, probably on the mid to upper price point of a seat, but it's the only seat that does what it does. So if you're, you know, trying to keep your child safe in a situation where you really don't have another option, this guy is for you. I loved it. I loved using it. I would definitely recommend using it if you're in a situation, like I said, where you don't have the ability to bring your car seat. And remember, you can use it in other situations, but for me personally, I would say that it was best, you know, for those like public transportation type things. So you can't use it on an airplane. The reason you can't use it on an airplane is because you have to top tether it, and you don't have a top tether on an airplane. So if you're saying like, oh wait, well how did you get your daughter on the airplane to Chicago? I used a Cares harness, which is a totally separate video, totally separate thing to talk about, but I also recommend that in situations like this because it can fit like in your purse. And it's perfect for the airplane for kids of that age. All right, so see how this is folding up? It has a cover on it, and I'm obsessed with covers because I hate when the things that my children are going to be sitting on get dirty or gross. This is not. So here you have it. Well, what I want to show you is how easily it can go into a full-size stroller basket. You just pop it in. So, I mean, what other car seat do you know that you can fit into a stroller basket? Of course, this is a full-size stroller, so if you decide that you're traveling with, you know, a travel stroller or a really little umbrella stroller, it's really not going to fit in the basket. However, you can put it in a backpack, or you could hang it on the bar of your stroller. I had a Bugaboo Bee with me, and I hung it the entire time we were walking around the city in the bar of the stroller while my daughter was in the seat, and it worked out. It was perfect. It met our needs, and it got it done the way I wanted to. So, moving on. My 6-year-old, sorry, he'll be so upset if I called him 5 and he heard. My 6-year-old was also with us on this trip, and let me this booster. He is in a high back booster seat at home. I actually have him in a high back Collect booster seat. Love that seat as well, but again, how am I going to travel through the streets of Chicago holding a high back booster seat? I considered just getting a low back, you know, a regular booster, not with a high back, but then I realized if I was going to have the Immi go with me, I needed to make sure that this second item that I needed for my older child was as compact as possible. So that is how I discovered the Bubble Bum. The Bubble Bum is an inflatable car seat. Yes, you read that right. It is inflatable. See, it took me about 20 seconds to fill this up, which was great. It can go in my purse, my diaper bag, also in the stroller basket. It can go anywhere. But it's so easy to install. You simply feed the seatbelt through the two, I mean, they're red, like, so obvious that they do something. These two red pieces, and then you put the seatbelts obviously around your child. This is only for children who are of booster age and size. So you're talking about a 4-year-old and up, and they need to be, you know, 40 pounds and up, and it's for you to make sure that they're also tall enough where the seatbelt is going to hit them in the right spot. So I'm not telling you today, you know, if this is right for your child. I'm just telling you that if you have a child that is of booster age and size, that this is a great product to use if you're traveling someplace where you're not going to have your own car and you're going to be using, you know, public transportation as far as like Ubers, Lyfts, and taxis and things like that. This product is only $30. So in my opinion, it's not only great for traveling, but it's also great to have in your trunk if you happen to get a call from a friend at home and they decide that they need you to pick up their child and you don't have a booster seat for them. This is a great product to have, or to have on hand if somebody else needs to pick up your child. You know, it's kind of like the emergency seat. That's what I think of this as. Same thing with the Immi Go, as well as being a great travel option for the public transportation. So I definitely recommend both of these seats. They were a total game changer on our weekend in Chicago. And even more recently than that, we used them again for another trip where we traveled out of the country, and we had to take a car service from the airport to the hotel, and it was like a 45-minute drive, and we needed something that was going to be safe for our kids. So we used these, and we didn't feel like we were, you know, carrying so much extra baggage with us that we were only going to be using for a short time, but we were really happy because we knew our kids were safe. So great products, definitely recommend you checking them out. I would love to hear if you do try them out, how that whole travel experience went with your kids. So definitely leave me a note below, I'd love to see that. And make sure you guys follow me on social media at The Nessa Lee on Instagram, and Vanessa Antonelli on Facebook, and Vanessa Lee on Twitter. Thank you guys so much, and check back soon for some more new videos.